శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమ. అందరికీ నమస్కారం. In this video, let us examine what is mystery in the universe and the world. See, mystery is that phenomena which is not unknown but also unknowable. A phenomena which is not known but it is also unknowable. You see, a man who knows cannot feel any sense of wonder in and around the creation, isn't it? You see, a seed sprouts. This sprouting of the seed, everybody can see it because everybody knows it, right from the farmer to a gardener in a city. Everybody knows what is sprouting. But has anybody seen and observed and known about the process of sprouting, the method of sprouting a seed? Science can definitely develop and conceive variety of seeds, but the process of sprouting, what happens to the seed in the earth, is unknown. So, and it remains unknowable. A birth of child happens. Everybody knows it. But the process of conceiving and developing the child in the womb is unknown. How it is happening? So, similarly, so many things which we know and they are very familiar to us in daily life. We feel we know, but we don't know the process of that happening, and which is unknowable. See, people fall in love. If you ask any such lover what he will say, he will never think just he falls in love. He never applies the logic of whether he is a man or a woman or whoever it is. He falls in love. So, he cannot explain. Maybe he has fallen for the intelligence of a person, or for the beauty of a woman, or for the passion of that person in one particular field. So many factors may be there to fall in love with a person, and which is unknowable, because even though similar persons are there around him, he falls in love with only one particular person, and that reason is unknowable, and it is a mystery for each and everybody around him. So, like that, death happens. Everybody meets death, and everybody knows that he is going to die. But the process of death is mysterious. Somebody dies while walking, somebody dies while sleeping, somebody does while working. So many ways death happens, but it is the process of the death is mysterious. So it happens daily in every, and we see in our day-to-day life so many happenings and events like this which happens in the universe and in the world around us. So some happenings are mysterious. See, in the existence, life can be divided into three factors: known, unknown, and unknowable. A known thing or factor means we are aware of it and we have experienced it. So we feel that we have known that incident or that happening, because we have gone through that experience, and that experience is stored in our memory. And whenever such incident happens, automatically the earlier experience flashes in our memory, and we feel familiar with the incident which is happening in the present. So whatever the incidents happen, such incidents, we feel they are known, and there are certain incidents which we are not aware of it. So suppose a man wants to go to a far off place, so he doesn't know anything about it because he has not had any experience earlier about that place or person or a thing or object, whatever it is. So when the need arises, he inquires into that place, and whatever the issues relating to his visit to that place, he makes inquiries and comes to know of it. So, and once he goes there and gains experience, then again it becomes a known place or thing or object, whatever it is. So, the unknown can be known one day or other. It is where the science does many things, and so many discoveries are made and being made in the world. So whatever the unknown, they try to know through research and development in various laboratories and other places feasible to that research. So, but there are certain things which are unknown and which remains unknown even till today. And we wonder at such mysteries noticed in the world. Now, I would like to quote two examples in this field of mystery. You see, one is, as you all know, Ramanuja is a genius in mathematics, born in India in 1888. He was born in a very poor family, and then he, after his, actually he is a field matriculate candidate. So for his livelihood, he joined in a small company. So there, his genius in mathematics has come out. So the close friends who observed his skills in mathematics have asked him to write a letter to Professor Hardy, who was one of the very reputed mathematicians in the world at that time. They asked him to write a letter to him, who was working at that time in Cambridge University as professor in England. He didn't write any letter to Professor Hardy. Instead, he has solved two problems in mathematics and sent them to Professor Hardy. Professor Hardy was amazed and then invited him to come to England to meet him. When Ramanuja went and had a first meeting with Professor Hardy, Professor Hardy felt as a child before Ramanuja, and he wondered at his genius in mathematics. So, Then afterwards, he became professor and all that, Ramanuja. So he lived only for very short time. He lived for 36 years and he died of tuberculosis at that time. So when he was in hospital, Professor Hardy, along with two of his mathematical friends, went to the hospital to see Ramanuja. In doing so, Professor Hardy has parked his vehicle in the hospital, and Ramanuja was able to see the car of Professor Hardy and the number plate of the car of Professor Hardy. So, Professor has come to the room and Ramanuja told him that the number which his car was having is a unique number, and there are four aspects in the number which was very unique. And then Ramanuja breathed his last and died. So Professor Hardy, after 6 months, could figure out the four aspects of the number and started researching on the elements of those four numbers. So in his lifetime, he could solve and find out the various aspects of the three numbers only, and he could not complete his research on the fourth number. So after he was about to die at that time, so he has willed all his property and asked his colleagues to continue the work of research on the aspects of that fourth number as told by Ramanuja, and left the body. After 22 years of Professor Hardy's death, the aspects which Ramanuja indicated were found about the number fourth number. So that is how Ramanuja was and his genius was. See, logically speaking, he was not a trained mathematician at all. By the time he went to England to meet Professor Hardy, he was a failed matriculation candidate. And how could he exhibit such excellence in mathematics was unknown. So that's how the mystery about Ramanuja was still unsolved and unknowable. Then our second instance is Edgar Casey. He was in America. See, Edgar Casey, he also was an academician. He once he fell, sorry, once he was unconscious and brought to the hospital in coma. Because of his fall, and nobody knows from where he fell, and no external injury was there on the body, but he was unconscious and went into coma for a long period, for a period of 2-3 days. So he was brought to the hospital and he was in coma. So doctors examined him, administered all the medicines to regain his consciousness. But he was unconscious and he could not respond to any medicine. So after 3 days, the doctors announced that if he doesn't regain his consciousness, he will be dead within 6 to 12 hours. And even if he survives after that, he will be living with the brain damage, and which is worse than a death. So after this event happened, the doctors proclaimed like this: Edgar Case has spoken from his unconsciousness. He was speaking from his unconsciousness. The doctors got surprised because the body was unconscious, but he started speaking. And he told the doctors that he fell from a tree and his backbone was injured, and because of that he fell unconscious and went into coma. He advised them to administer certain medicines, herbal medicines, and he will be able to recover within 6 to 12 hours thereafter. So the doctors thought that as he was in coma, probably he was speaking like this because of the damage to the brain. But they thought over it because they have administered whatever the medicines, and as there was no improvement, they decided to procure the medicines and suggested by him in his unconscious state, and accordingly they procured the medicines and administered them, and he has recovered as he told. This rare event has become a turning point in his life. After that, he surprisingly he used to suggest medications to a number of patients while he was unconscious. It seems he has cured 30,000 patients in his lifetime. So the he's there are a number of cases which he has cured, but I will quote one or two incidents of his medication. There was Rothschilds. It's a very rich family in USA at that time. They are millionaires, and one woman fell sick in that family, and they approached Edgar Cayce for medication. So he has prescribed certain medication in his unconscious state, and those medicines were not found in the market. So they have issued advertisements in newspapers, international newspapers, and after about 3 weeks, one gentleman from Sweden has responded and has written a letter to them. The medication which they wanted was not manufactured so far in the market, but his father, while alive, has developed a formula and patented that medication. As it was not manufactured, he was sending the formula to them. He has sent the formula, and the whatever the medication was there in that formula, they they procured, got it prepared, and then they administered, and the patient recovered. So the point is, how does Edgar Cayce indicate or prescribe the medication or the medicine which was not even manufactured and available in the market? This is very, very mysterious, but he has done it. In the second case, also, the same, the medicine, one patient was there, and no medicine could work for his disease, and finally they approached Edgar Cayce, and he suggested a medication while he was unconscious. So they also advertised in newspapers, and no response was there for a year or so. After a year, an advertisement appeared in the newspapers about the medication which Edgar Cayce has prescribed. And that medicine was actually being tested in the laboratories in the previous year. That's why it was not available in the market. And after the tests are over in the laboratories, they have released it to the market. And the patient procured the medicine, got cured and all that. The point is, how does Mr. Edgar Cayce prescribe that medicine which was not even named by the manufacturers at that time, and which was being tested in the laboratories at that time? So these are all the mysteries. It is how he could do that, how he could prescribe that medication during his unconscious state. It is unknowable. So somebody asked him, how could you prescribe such kind of medication while you are unconscious? And he used to say that I don't know who is speaking and who is seeing. I don't know. That's what his reply was. So the point is, there are mysteries about the places, about the happenings, about the events all over the world. So, but one thing we have to keep in view is, see, the things which are unknowable, by your effort, whatever effort may be, some things remain unknowable. So, known or unknown, these two areas man can cover and know at a later date. If not today, tomorrow, the unknown things can be known. But the unknowable can only be experienced and lived, realizing the fact that the God, the higher power, the nature is more intelligent than whole human race. Certain things, it kept it unknowable to the man. But if man can offer wholeheartedly from the depths of his heart his thankfulness and gratitude for all the gifts the existence has showered on him, he can show that thanksgiving by living the life which was a gift, which was a grace of the Lord. Know that He who created you will maintain you. Trust more in God, in spirit, in nature, in that higher power which is always there, omnipresent, omniscient. So, whenever any need beyond your intelligence, that higher power intervenes and gives solace to you in various ways. So, do all your best and be cheerful and joyful as that infinite intelligence and love was there behind you.